Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the 3-day EKG challenge. We are just getting all set up and ready for you guys. We have so much good stuff to share with you tonight. Literally, this is going to be, if you've never seen this challenge before, this is going to make some light bulbs go off, and we're super excited about that. So let me just go ahead and let me make sure we are live on the right place. And all right, non-video participants. Perfect. Okay, so can you guys, let's test out the chat here. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me and see me okay? And let me make sure we're in the right place so we can start on time. There we are. Excellent. So type in the chat. You can. Awesome. So hey, Jessica, just want to say a little shout out to everybody on Zoom. Hello, Heather and Chris. We have my co-hostess with the mostest, Michelle. We have Carrie. What's up, Carrie? KJ, thank you for being here. Laura, we have Lynn and Molly. Nuria back again. Welcome, Patrick, Paul. I haven't seen you in a while. Rebecca, Sahar, Celine, Tiffany, and Tina. Welcome in, you guys. So we are just about to get started. If you're on Facebook, you can say hi there too. We are going to watch comments in both places. We are going to record this, so it will be available for rewatch. So that's exciting. I know a lot of you are on the East Coast and probably tired. So feel free, if you need to go to sleep, no worries. You can rewatch this in the morning. But if you want to stay live with us, we are going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, look at all this in the comments. Roger that, Paul says. I love it. This is perfect. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen so that we are ready to go. And we'll make sure we can see it so we can start right on time. Okay, so let's kick this thing off. Welcome in officially to the 3-day EKG challenge. Now, I'm your hostess, Jennifer Carlquist. If you haven't met me before, welcome in. I'm the one that probably invited you here, although some of you invited your friends, so thank you for that. And if this is your first time with us, you're in for a real treat because we are going to share some secrets with you on how to make EKG reading easy. Now on the screen, you can see that I have a co-host, Michelle Barkley. She is over here. I did see her on screen for a second, but she's going to pop back up in a minute. Hold on one second. Someone's trying to hop on live really quick. Let me just let her in. Michelle, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody while I'm helping someone log on real quick?
Hey guys, I'm Michelle, and I've been working with Jen now for a couple years. I have a CVICU background, and I live in San Antonio, Texas. I love to teach everything basic and everything super advanced when it comes to heart issues. I am a heart transplant nurse and a ventricular assist device nurse, which is my love. But my favorite thing to do with Jen is to teach the very, very basics. So that's me and a lot of years in nursing.
Thank you, Michelle. And you're going to get to see Michelle a little bit more on day 3 because she is also being so humble. She's our gamestress as well. So she hosts multitude of games for us to make this fun. And she's going to do a game to kick us off on day 3 just to kind of go through and see what we've retained. Michelle's here. What's up, Michelle? And KJ, and I did see that Matt is here. So everybody here, we're so glad you're here. So let's get this party started. All right, now we, as I just mentioned, are having an invite a friend contest, and I'm going to show you the winners in a second who are currently in the lead, but we decided to give you guys an extra day in case you liked what you saw tonight and you were like, oh, I'm going to go tell my coworker about this, that you could be in the running for the prizes. Now, the prizes have never been this juicy, guys. I got to tell you, we do prizes every challenge, and we do prizes every night, by the way, so that's exciting, but they've never been this juicy. So the first place is going to be a one-on-one session with me to do EKGs and ask whatever you want about EKGs or cardiology in a 30-minute Zoom. Okay, so I don't even do one-on-one sessions at all anymore. So that's going to be the first prize. Second prize is an RCAT EKG workbook. This is a $40 value. It comes with a badge. That's super cool. So that's for the second place winner. And the third place winner is going to win this book here, the 12-lead ECG in acute coronary syndromes. And so this is also a really great book, something that's probably a little bit more for the advanced learner, but it's really, really good. So how can you enter to win and get in the running? What you do is you go to the top of the group and you hit invite. And then we track this on the back end and we know who's inviting who and how many people you've invited. Now, we had a lot of people invited today by KJ, so thank you. I saw you, KJ. Definitely seen you, but here's the leaderboard. So in first place, Yvette, I don't know if you're on here. I haven't seen you yet, but you are in the first place to get the one-on-one session with me with a total of 110 invites. Now, Yvette, you always do well in these contests, but Missy is right behind you there, which like whoa. Okay. And KJ, you're number 3. So you guys are kicking butt. Now, Kamal, you're at number 4. So there's still lots of room for movement. We'll announce the actual winner tomorrow night. So that'll be exciting, along with our other prize giveaways. And Paul uses his RCAT. I know we all love our RCAT badges. Okay, so let's get some questions answered. A lot of you have reached out and said, hey, you know, I don't know if I can make the whole class. I'm going to be out of the, someone said I'm going to be out of the country. I don't know if I'll have good internet. What should I do? And my advice was go ahead and try to watch live because it's more fun that way. But you know what? We're going to put the replays up in the guide section for you of the Facebook group when we're done. But also, we'll be making a super easy little page that you can click on that'll have all the replays to make it really easy to find. So don't even worry. There's only one session that's not recorded, and it's the bonus tomorrow night after our arrhythmia session. Okay, so the 6:15 session that's an add-on is not going to be recorded because he doesn't allow recording. But if you've ever been to Gary's session, it's a really great time. Type in the chat on Facebook or on Zoom if you've been, so other people can know if it's worth their time. And then where can I get my workbook? So we actually have a link to the workbook. And yes, definitely ask questions. We have a link to the workbook that we're going to use in this little class, and it's in the featured post in the Facebook group. So you can just type on the link and you can go ahead and download it. It gets sent straight to Messenger and you can download it that way. And then maybe Ruben, if you could post the link, that would be great. If you could post that, or Michelle. And and that's going to be our guest. So we have Gary, who's going to be our guest, and we have Michelle, who's our guest. So we're very, very lucky. So it's not just me leading this show. Now, this is Gary. He's an RN as well. You can tell I really love RNs. I absolutely love RNs. Do we have any RNs on here? So type hashtag RN if you're here as an RN. But he's doing the bonus session tomorrow at 6:15. So make sure to add that onto your calendar. I have to see 2 people raising their hand. And then lastly, but not leastly, is we are going to give away a scholarship, which is, oh, good, you got everything printed. Rhonda, you're an RN. What's up, Rhonda? So we're going to give away a scholarship to a program that we do that starts next week. Okay. And we're going to give that away on Thursday. Now, I want to tell you how you can get in the winning or in the running for this, because we're going to select somebody. And this is actually in honor of my late dad. So I like to every challenge give somebody a scholarship to our paid EKG program and in his honor. But what is special, or what's special about my dad, is he was like the biggest helper. So I want to see you guys helping each other. So what am I looking for? If someone's having a hard time finding a certain thing, help them out, get them a link. And I see Ruben dropping the workbook link. Thank you so much. And Missy, I know you're an RNC. I love RNs. Can you tell? So look around if anybody's like struggling like with where to find something, or if they have a question or comment, or if they even just guess an answer when we're talking about something, cheer them on. But be a positive force in our community that's almost 19,000, which just blows my mind. And I'm going to be watching you, and whoever stands out to me the most as being the most helpful is going to win the scholarship to the 30-day EKG challenge. Okay, so that's like where Michelle hangs out. That's where we have a bunch of coaches hang out. And you're going to get to come in and learn from us for free if you win. Okay, so definitely got my eye on you guys for that. Now, let's see. I think I covered all of that. Let's go to the next slide. So what are we going to cover tonight? What are we going to cover in the challenge? We're going to cover several different things, okay? And each night has a theme. So tonight we're going to talk about the waves, some of the terminology, a little bit about how to count rate. And then tomorrow we're going to be featuring arrhythmias. So I'm going to teach you some basic arrhythmias, and I'm going to teach it as if you're a very basic learner. And if you're not, that's okay, but I'm going to teach it that way because I don't want to miss out on anybody who's really new. And then we're going to have like a little, with Gary, a little session where he's going to show them dynamically and we're going to guess them. It's super fun. So then we kind of engage what we've learned. So it's see it, learn it, and then practice it. And then on day 3, we're going to do basic 12 leads. And Michelle's going to do a game for us. And she's actually our basic 12 lead master. She runs practice sessions in our 30-day EKG group. So she's a lot of fun. And I might have another surprise for you later in the week, but I'm going to just keep my mouth shut on that so I don't give it away. Yes, I did used to be a paramedic, Paul. You are absolutely right. So there's a lot of people in this group. We have EMS here. We have RNs who save providers and patients, right? Nurse practitioners and PAs. We have EKG techs. We have students of all levels. And we're so excited that you're here. So whatever level you are, type in the chat. We'd love to hear more about you and who you are, because we want to honor you and your time. Now, I did mention earlier that yes, I'm the one who invited you here, but who am I to even talk to you about this stuff, right? Let's talk about that. So I do work in the emergency department. There I am. You can see that was back in the day when I painted my nails. Like, who does that when you work in the ER? But anyway, this is lecturing. I lecture all over the country, EKG, cardiology type stuff. And then I work in a cardiology office. Oh, we have an EP student. Nice. So this is all the things I do, but I do this other thing at night sometimes, this 3-day EKG challenge. And I do this, somebody asked me actually, or said a comment on the little ad we posted, like, oh, is this really free? Yeah, it's really free. And it kind of upset me. I'll just be really honest, because I'm like, I've been at work all day and like I come home and Michelle is here. We're both here to like serve our faces off and do this for free. And someone's like questioning that. I was like, it like really made me mad. So anyway, this is because I had a rough coming up learning EKGs, and I wanted to provide a place for people to have a safe place to feel nurtured. Okay. And yes, I do paint hearts. I'll show you that. Ooh, Carrie Porter, RN and nurse practitioner in cardiology. Yes. FNP in primary care. Yes. Mary Beth is an RN. Love these. Okay. Yes. So we are lucky to have Michelle. I totally agree, Carrie. So this is actually KJ. Thanks for bringing that up. I didn't even ask you to, but this is last night. I had to share this just because you guys, this is amazing. So it's a kind of a blurry photo, but this was my heart sculpture that went on display last night. The unveiling happened in San Francisco. And this heart is going to be auctioned off along with other hearts to help raise funds for patients that can't pay their medical bills that are going to the San Francisco General Hospital. And it's a fundraiser they've done for 20 years. And this was my heart that I contributed. And I'm just so excited to share this with you guys, because you don't know it yet. I'm going to be giving away a piece of my art as one of our prizes. And so now you'll be like, oh, this art's pretty cool, right? And you'll be like, you're an official San Francisco artist, so maybe your art's going to be worth something someday. So just to let you know, that's also something that's going on. So when we talk about, let's get into the meat and potatoes now. When we talk about learning EKGs, I just want to really highlight how you do it, because I feel like there's no roadmap. Celine is an RN student. Yay. You guys, if you are RNs, connect with Michelle, pick her brain. She loves, especially new nurses. So don't be shy. She's here to lean on. And she just loves giving back. So that's just don't miss out on that opportunity. So yay. Okay. So nobody told me when I was first starting how to really do this. They gave me that orange book, the Dubin's book. And if you like that book, I'm sorry, I hate to throw shade on something you like, but I didn't like that book. It didn't make sense to me. So, they started out with like access. And I was like, um, yeah, I don't think I can do this. And I almost gave up. I almost like left paramedic school because things weren't really making sense to me. And so here's when I went back and I looked at everything. I was like, what's the real magic? How are you really is a good way to do this? So first of all, learning what an EKG is and what it can tell you. That's a very powerful set of things to know. What are the waves and what are the normal intervals? What is the heart anatomy and how does it correspond to the EKG? Because basically it's a 3D object that you're looking at a flat piece of paper and making critical life decisions, right? So that's kind of hard. And then we got to understand that basically there's four parts of the heart. I'll talk about that more. We needed to learn the rhythms of the heart because that's basically who's running the darn heart, right? Electrically speaking. And then what is a 12 lead? What's the terminology we use? How do we speak the language? What does reciprocal and contiguous mean, right? And so we kind of get the fundamentals down. That's really important. And then we go back into what normal looks like. What is a normal EKG, which we'll cover on night 3? What's the tense approach? We'll cover that on night 3. And then basically what we do for you in this 3-day challenge is we kind of get you a little snack of a lot of this. Obviously, we don't want to spend too um, much time every night when you guys are, have long days, but we try to give you like as much as possible. And then if you ever want to learn more, we cover the rest of it in our 30-day EKG challenge, right? So we kind of like set you up twin on the launch pad there. So we are going to cover a lot. And as Paul mentioned, I was paramedic and I wanted to show you proof because you guys, here's the thing. You see me, I look confident. I'm going to show you some cool things, and maybe you think to yourself, "Oh, I can't identify with her. She just knows so much." And you know what? This is a picture of me here, okay? I was probably a year into being a medic. This was my awesome partner, Frank. He's my EMT. And I was, you guys, terrified, okay? Like so scared because we didn't have cell phones back then. Okay, yeah, I'm old. Okay, we didn't have like the ability to transmit it. We had I had me. Frank didn't know he was the EMT. No one taught him EKG. It was me, and I had to make the decision, and I was freaked out. And so, just to tell you, like how this challenge kind of got started was and how I decided like I need to get good at this was that I sat it was at the station. There's a little cabana back there. I sat in that cabana up all night one night because I realized the gravity of needing to know all the things that would kill somebody that the machine wouldn't pick up. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I wrote down a list and things like posterior MI, things like Welland's warning, things like De Winters, right? These are probably a lot of foreign words to you, but I wrote all these things down and I was like, I need to know these things because if I miss a PAC, nobody's going to die, right? I mean, it's still, I have to pick them up, but I got to focus on the high risk stuff. Otherwise, people are going to die. And that freaked me out so bad. It was that fear that drove me and motivated me. So if anybody's feeling like that too, like, oh, I just have that cringy feeling when someone gives me an EKG because uh, I just don't want to look at it, or if you avoid EKGs, right? This is the place to be because this is where we're going to give you a good foundation. And I'm going to tell you that I literally had an awful experience learning EKGs. I was like, it almost felt like hazing. So we try to provide the opposite. So you will receive nothing but encouragement, and there is no dumb questions here, just so you know. And that was me a long time ago, scared. Here I am now feeling more confident because I went back and I looked at the foundations and I got solid on understanding, not memorizing. So let's do that together. Let's take a 10,000-foot view of what we're actually asking. And yes, KJ, it is a total judgment-free zone, and you know that. And we're so happy. And like that's our thing. Like if you said, Jen, like what's your thing? You and Michelle's thing. Oh, we don't judge. Like we're on your team. That's it. Like end of story, period. But anyway, okay, enough about that. So here's the thing. You have to understand that there's a lot of parts to the heart, and we're using the electricity to tell us about the parts of the heart. So, for example, the plumbing of a house is like the plumbing of the heart, vessels, right? And we're asking with the EKG, are those vessels blocked? We're also looking at the conduction, who's running the heart. And that's what we look at with an EKG or a Holter monitor, for example. The walls of a heart, right? We look at that with an echocardiogram, and that's a structural part. We look at the valves too. And I like to think of the valves as the doors. If they don't shut well, they regurgitate. If they don't open well, they're stenotic. And the reason I'm showing this to you is because commonly in cardiology clinic, a patient will come in and they'll be like, oh, I have chest pain, I have palpitations, and I have shortness of breath. This is like an everyday thing, at least once a day, right? So then I have to tell them, oh, well, we're going to get an echo, stress test, and Holter monitor. And the patient's like, and rightfully so, okay? They're like, but I have one heart. Why do you need so many tests? And then when I explain this euphemism, they're like, oh, I totally understand. So anyway, this is something feel free to use if you want to. Yes, there's a question. Because I'm in Eastern Standard, am I able to listen? Yes, you can. And thank you, Michelle, for answering that. Yes, you can. You can watch the recording later, no problem. Yes. Okay, so going on, the other thing to understand is that the heart is a muscle. So today I had this patient and she had some left ventricular hypertrophy or some thickening of her heart. And she was like, why? Why? People always want to know, why is it thick? And the reason is because it's a muscle. So it's working harder when you have things like high blood pressure or if your weight is up, right? It's working harder. So it's going to get thicker. So that's something that we look at. But also that thickness, if it gets too thick, we look at that as LVH, left ventricular hypertrophy, right? And this is a term you've heard before. So it's what we're looking at is the size of the R waves, right? Are they really big? Do they have a lot of voltage, high voltage? Do they have a thick ventricle, maybe? Or do they have a really small R waves? And if that's the case, then potentially we could be worrying about other big bad things. So guys, I got to tell you that if you see low voltage, you have to worry about the worst case scenario. Okay. Does anybody know what the worst case scenario is for the low voltage? And while you're typing that, I'm going to tell you that there's other things that can cause low voltage that are not dangerous. So things like obesity, like large body habitus, those are all things that can cause or COPD even can cause low voltage. But the thing that you want to worry about the most, let's see if we've got somebody in the chat saying it. Yes, Missy. Yes, good. Okay. Oh my gosh. Actually, all of you on here were saying the right answer. So pericardial effusion. Excellent. And also for you folks that are saying tamponade, also a possibility. And with tamponade, you would see an additional little thing called electrical alternans, right? Where the beats are big and then small beat and then small. That's a really bad sign. Never want to see that. And then for Navdeep, who said pericarditis can lead to actually a pericardial effusion. And if you have restrictive pericarditis, that is also true that you can get low voltage. So I'm loving your comments, you guys. You are doing amazing. So thinking about the whole thing that the heart's a muscle is really important. Now here's an example of what it actually looks like in real life. Hypoperfusion, potentially, yeah, potentially. So here the machine is actually calling it low voltage, right? Because if you look, they're really small. Now there's a rule, and it's I call it the family, basically, knowing that the P wave is the mom, the QRS is the dad, and the T wave is the baby. And if you know an average, like let's say The Simpsons, for example, although Marge's hair is pretty big, but anyway, we'll just use The Simpsons anyway, right? So this would be Marge, this would be Homer, and this would be, for example, we'll call this Lisa. Okay, so you don't ever want, for example, the dad to be so small, almost as tall as the mom, right? And conversely, you also don't want the T wave, the baby, to be very big either, or almost as tall as dad. So that's how you kind of know that what you're dealing with. And there's actually meaning to a very, very tall T wave that actually can mean ischemia. So the size of the waves matters. And if you saw this, the first thing you think about is pericardial effusion. And then you could also, rule out the other things. So thinking worst first helps you. Now, the wave is basically an electrical event. It's a positive or negative deflection. And this is the conduction system. So this is your sinus node right here, going down to your AV node, which slows the impulse for a second. And then you go down into the bundles, which contract the ventricles. And there's a left bundle and a right bundle, and they're supposed to coordinate together. When you get bundle branch blocks, when one of them is blocked, like here, this is an example of a right bundle, then they don't actually coordinate together and the QRS widens. So that's why knowing the normal intervals of the QRS is really important. So a normal interval would be less than 120 or 3 small boxes. Now let's see if you guys are still awake. Let's do this together and go ahead and type in the chat for me. Type in the chat for me when you know it. Okay, what wave is this one? This is called the, yes, good. This is the P wave. And this here is the, good, Q wave. This here is the, yeah, you guys are all over our wave. This here is the S wave. And I know there's a little lag on Facebook, but I see you. You got it, right, Matt? And then this one is the T wave. No, there's no W. I think that's a typo. And then this is the U wave. You shouldn't have that, right? You shouldn't have a U wave. Okay, so great job, you guys. Outstanding. So those are the waves. Now, let's see. Does somebody have a question? Okay. You guys are amazing. Oh, hey, Kyla. I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. Okay, so there's a couple of rules that I wanted to add on to that. Nice job, everybody. Good job on Facebook as well. Um, the P wave should not be too needy. It shouldn't be too close to the QRS, and it should be nice and smooth, not notched. The QRS shouldn't be too tall or too wide. We kind of talked about that. And the T wave should be upright in everything except for 2 leads. So there's 2 leads where the T wave should be inverted, which means upside down. Does anybody know which leads should be inverted? And type in the chat if you know the answer. There's a chat. Let's see. Yes, good. KJ, AVR, and V1. Absolutely. Good job, everybody on here. Yes, AVR and V1. That's where the T wave should be inverted. Everywhere else it should be upright. So good job, you guys. Now, P wave. This is what you want to see. You want to see a smooth, beautiful, perfect, not pregnant, not lumpy or bumpy P wave. And you want it to be mostly upright, okay? And this represents the contraction of the atria, okay? The atria are depolarizing, and you want the sinus node to be in charge, okay? And this is what it looks like. So we're always hunting for that. And then the next wave, as you guys already mentioned, this is the QRS, and it shouldn't be wider than how many small boxes? Let's see if you guys remember. How many small boxes? Yes, good job. 3. Exactly. Oh, remember all these questions? They may be showing up in a new game. See, Michelle's always got a game going for us. Very good, you guys. No more than 3 small boxes or 120 milliseconds. Super critical to know that. Now, there's another real quick term I wanted to share with you just because we're doing terminology tonight. And this is kind of dusting the cobwebs off, so to speak, okay? So if you go over here to the T wave, there's something called a refractory period. Now, the refractory period is basically what the latter half of the T wave is. It's called relative refractory. This is called the absolute refractory, so the very beginning of the T. Why would I mention the end of the T? Well, because this is where you can get R on T phenomenon. If a PVC comes in here, you can go into torsades or lethal arrhythmia. So this part of the T wave is vulnerable. And that's why when you have people with prolonged QT, there's more of these episodes of torsades because it's longer and there's more risk. So understanding the terminology. And then Q waves, a lot of folks have some concerns about Q waves, which is totally legit. And so I just want to talk about a Q wave for a second because you've been taught most likely that a Q wave is an old MI. And that's not always the case. And so it could be something that's happening new. Within an hour, a Q wave can form of an MI. But how do you know if it's pathologic? If it is deep or wide, it is pathologic. So some textbooks say a quarter of the height of the R, some textbooks say a third of the height, and also if it's wide. So this is not actually the full story for Q waves, believe it or not. There's actually more with Q waves. For example, they can show up in a pulmonary embolism, right? They can show up in something called hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. These are all things we teach you in our 30-day EKG challenge. But just know that the first step is really identifying if it's pathologic or not. So if you see here, what I did was this from here to here is the whole thing you're measuring. And then I divided it into thirds, and this is a third the height. So that's pathologic or bad. Same with this one, it's wide, okay? So if you have one, the machine is usually going to say something in the interpretation. It'll usually say, MI of unknown age? Because here's the thing, the software does not want to be responsible for you calling this a old MI, but it's actually new, right? So the machine's not stupid. In fact, well, in that respect, the machine, I really feel like, does not adequately analyze the regular software, our EKGs very well, so don't listen to it half the time. But really measure these, it does matter. And this is what they look like in real life. Okay, so you can see that you can see it say, oh, possible inferior infarct, age undetermined. That's so smart, right? It's so safe for it to say that. And here they are. You can see that there's a Q here. There's a little baby Q here too. These are called contiguous leads because they're fed by the same artery terminology. Okay, contiguous. So 2, 3, and AVF are all contiguous. And so this is a pathologic Q. This one is also showing a little Q. This one by itself wouldn't be pathologic, but because it's in the same distribution of the same artery, we know that this is also giving us more ammo. There's damage here. So Qs are made from scar usually. So yes, thank you, machine, for calling it. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to run by you is that the T waves, the size and the shape actually matters. So this is a normal T. And I'm going to tell you that no one ever told me this. I just realized this one day, that T waves are a little asymmetric. So you can see here, this guy is a little lopsided, and that's normal. A T wave that is symmetric, we never like symmetry in our T's, okay? And that's probably not something anybody ever told you. But if you have a symmetric T, like you can see this one is not symmetric. But symmetry usually means ischemia. Okay, it's a bad thing, as KJ said. Now, this T wave here is pretty big. We would need a 12 lead to see what's happening here because there's some definite ST elevation happening, right? This is the ST area. And so when we did a 12 lead, we would see, is there any reciprocal changes, which would be opposite or depression anywhere. But this was actually just a straight up benign early repolarization. So we wouldn't know that unless we did a 12 lead. This one is what happens when you have a big ventricle. So that thick ventricle you're talking about, your little T will go kind of reverse check mark here. And when it does that, this is a sign of left ventricular hypertrophy. It's not perfectly symmetric, and that's why we know it's not ischemia. This will fool you though. You're like, oh, it's ischemia, but it's not symmetric. So symmetry actually turns out to be really important. Now, this is an example of a hyperkalemia patient and a hypokalemia. And we know that because this is very tall and pointy, and this one is very flat. So the electrolytes are also something we can see on the EKG, which is super cool. So you probably already knew that about hyper, but maybe you didn't know that about hypo. So that's a kind of cool thing. Now, when I talk to you about 12 leads on day 3, I want to show you this one because this one is a scary mamma jamma. Okay. Basically, if you remember the T waves, we're just going to talk about the T waves on this one. They should be inverted or upside down in AVR and V1. Okay. They're not, they're upright. And remember, everywhere else is supposed to have T waves that are invert or upright, right? Every other lead, these are all inverted. So it's like opposite. It's like opposite land. And everybody is not following the rules. Well, actually, no, it's not true because technically AVL and V2 are following the rules, but everybody else is not. Now, this is what symmetry looks like. And this patient ended up having a form of hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, which is basically a thickening of the heart that leads to sudden death. And so you can see it doesn't say that on the software anywhere, right? It just says, oh, consider. Well, yeah, we did consider ischemia. And we should consider ischemia with T-waves like this, but there's more reasons than just ischemia. So that's a little more advanced, but I did want to show you kind of what the symmetry looks like. And if you ever see symmetry, just please be worried, okay? Symmetry is not good. No, no, no. All those T's are misbehaving. Look at all of them. They are so bad. Bad, bad, bad. Go to your room. No dinner. And then another thing to kind of talk about, sorry, I have this cough for like a month. Okay, so the R to R interval, this is another kind of crucial term because it's going to help us tomorrow when we start looking at arrhythmias. Is the R to R normal, right? Is it a regular R to R? And if it's regular, then we can kind of tell what we're dealing with our arrhythmia, right? If we're dealing with like an AFib would be an irregular R to R, or a sinus would be a regular R to R. Okay, so we'll be measuring that tomorrow, don't worry. And segments wise, let's review that. And as KJ said, regular or irregular, perfect. Okay, so let's do like we did with the waves. Let's have you guys chime in. So I'm going to put my heart on an interval. Which one is this one? This one here is the PR. Good job, you guys. What about this one? This one is the, it's not really we'll just call it, yes, QRS. Good. Okay. This one right here, this is the juicy segment. This is where everybody's always looking, right? ST segment. And we're looking for depression or elevation, and we're hoping we see neither of those. But if we see elevation, we're worrying about ischemia, obviously. Depression can also mean ischemia. And then lastly, but not leastly, this one right here, this is the what segment? QT. Kayla, you're a fast typer. All right. Excellent. I see Missy and I see Matt giving some great answers on FB as well, and KJ in the house. So good. Okay, you guys nailed that. So those are our segments. So now we know the segments and we know the waves, we know the rules, and it's also important to know these numbers up here. So let's talk about these. Okay, these are the intervals. So I'm going to ask you a question really quick. How many of you think that this is a prolonged QT? Okay, Paul, you're driving. Well, that's you can listen. You can listen. You don't have to vote. But how many of you think this is, I mean, the machine says prolonged QT. The QT is 713. You can see that up here, right? And just to give you an idea, in case you don't know, the QT is supposed to be under 460. Okay. Now, so 713 would be my longest one I've ever seen. But I'm going to tell you a secret. There's two secrets, actually. Secret number one is that if there is artifact, and there is a lot of artifact on this, it will mess up the calculation and you can't trust it. Secret number two is you can go and measure and see if it's real. So I'm just scooting along here. Okay, so here I see a T wave that's pretty easy for me to see, right? And what I'm going to do is I've got my R to R interval here, right? My R to R. So the QT, if it's really over 500, this line would be more like right here, but it's not. So this was a false report of a prolonged QT. So always double check, always measure, and we'll be giving away some of those badges that everybody keeps talking about, giving some of those away tomorrow, and you can use them to measure your intervals. It's super, super helpful. But here was the repeat without artifact. You can see it's 444, and then you can like clearly see these T's, right? So my advice to you is that one of the things you should always make sure you have is a clean, no artifact EKG to make the good analysis of your intervals, because they do matter. And if it was 713, that's someone that would go like to the hospital today, right now, from clinic. And if it was 713, that patient would be admitted because they'd be super high risk for torsades. But this is 444. It's definitely under 460. Yes, Celine, it's supposed to be under 460. So good job. Good job, you guys, on detecting that. Now, I forgot to mention that this is my dog, Remington. You've probably seen him. If you joined our challenge from the ad, you've seen him already. He did a little video for you. But he's our EKG reading German Shepherd, STEMI with Remy. That's why he's in our presentations all the time, to remind us that if a dog can read EKG, so can we. It gives us confidence, right? Michelle also has in the background, I don't know if you guys saw, but she has Skelly in the background, a skeleton. It's so cute. Maybe she'll show us Skelly on the day that she does the game because it's super cute. Okay. So let's talk about the numbers. They matter. And so this is an example of why. You've got a 51-year-old female who complains of general weakness. She felt like the water ran out of her. She was under a lot of stress. She had a history of hypertension, chronic neck pain. So she took a lot of methadone, which is part of the story. And she had some psych disorders. She was doing some psych meds. I don't remember. I think Zyprexa might have been one of them. And that day she drank a lot of alcohol, did some cocaine, and took 2 methadone, and then wondered why she didn't feel good. So obviously we're a recipe for disaster there. So she calls 911, and 911 gets to her. She collapses. She collapses. Okay, and she goes into torsades. They shock her once on the gurney, and then they get this is the spontaneous rhythm that a door time EKG. Okay. So luckily they resuscitated her. So now the question becomes, what do we do with this patient? They've had cardiac arrest. We need to figure out why. So, patient is probably going to get a cardiac cath, probably, right? Because they had a cardiac arrest. So Eileen, yes, methadone is a big QT prolonger. And the alcohol and the methadone, yeah, it's not a good combo. So when you look at why she had her cardiac arrest, and psych meds also increase QT, very good. And there's a lot of combos, exactly, Navdeep. So things we use commonly, things like Zithromax, things like Zofran, right? So this QT, I didn't put it in here on purpose, but it was 512. And I wanted to not put it in there to see if you guys thought about it, which you did. I'm so proud of you. But also because you can see the R to R when you make your line. This is at the halfway mark, so therefore it is 500 or over, and therefore it is prolonged. So this lady had her cardiac arrest, basically, went into torsades, got defibrillated because of her prolonged QT. So yeah, methadone clinics usually have you get an EKG. And there's other things that can prolong, like sotalol, like amiodarone. There's some antibiotics. There's all sorts of things. So we always need to like KJ said, we need to get a baseline for all mental health patients. That's true. But also we will monitor frequently the QT. And a lot of times, patients who have seizures are like not really seizures. It's someone goes into torsades. So, not everything that seizes is actually a seizure. Just like not everything that wheezes is asthma, right? Could be CHF. So this was this same patient that took her off all her QT prolonging medications. And then her QT here is 441, which is normal. And that was great. But the problem is that patient, she wasn't told. So she went back to her primary care and got back on all of her QT prolonging medications because she was told that she had an event. Think about all the times, well, if you've worked hospital and you've talked to a patient, you've wanted to sort of blunt the blow a little bit of what happened. Nobody really goes in and is like, hey, you died. Maybe you ought to not take those. We don't do that. We're not brusque, right? We're polite and we're like, hey, ma'am, you had an event. So she's like, oh, I had an event. Okay, cool. I'm out of these. I don't know why, but the hospital took all my medicines. So I'm going to just go to my primary. Primary isn't connected to the system because the hospital uses a different system. Patient doesn't say, oh, hi, I have an ICD in my chest now for my prolonged QT, for my cardiac arrest, and they give her all her medicines back. So, a lot of times it just takes patient education and like, just being really direct. We forget that, right? To when we're communicating, just be direct, like really, and ask your patient, like, especially with something this significant, like, what happened to you? What's wrong with you? So when they go somewhere and they tell somebody, they actually know like what's wrong with them. Because a lot of people, they hear our medical terminology. And so anyway, and yeah, they don't always admit drug use. That is very true. But she was honest and forthcoming, which was great. So now what we're gonna do is if you have your workbook, we're gonna do, I think, one page of our workbook tonight. We'll do a little bit of it each night, just to kind of summarize what we've learned. And then I'm gonna basically I teach back exactly, Missy. I like that. And then I'm gonna show you the prize of tonight, which is super exciting. Okay, so let's grab our workbook. And let's go through these together and just see if we can recap. Okay. So the, the P wave, it represents atrial depolarization. And what is actually contracting? Do you guys know the answer? What is actually contracting? Yeah, good job. Hello, Malika. Welcome in. Yes, exactly. Rebecca, yes. Okay, so the Q wave, is it initially a negative or positive deflection? Is it? Oh, good job. Negative. Good job, you guys. Okay. And if it's normal, it's less than, what was the measurement? Do you guys remember what was the measurement? 1/3? Yes. Okay. The QRS, it represents what part of the heart depolarizing? I'm kind of giving you, yeah, yes, it's supposed to be. Yes, the QRS is supposed to be less than 3 boxes. Ventricles, good. Excellent. Okay, good. P wave, okay. And then the R wave. This is the first. Is it positive or negative deflection? Positive or negative? Good. Positive. And then the T wave, it should be, give me a descriptor of a T wave. I'll go with anything. Round, love it. Should be a little asymmetric. Yes, good. Upright except AVR and V1. You guys are awesome. You guys remember all the things. I'm so proud of you. Okay, good. And then it should be upright in all the leads except for the two. And that would be the top two, AVR and V1. Excellent job. Okay, just a little reminder. Okay, and so let's go through this second page here, and then I think we're going to wrap it up for the night. So the U wave, one of the things that we showed you a U wave, right? And it's seen after the what wave? The U wave is seen after the, if it's there, it's seen after the T, exactly. And sometimes it's caused by hypokalemia, believe it or not. Okay. Good. Yeah, you guys knew that. You're all over it. So, a slurred upstroke in the QRS, and we didn't talk about this much, but what delta waves? Tell me what does a delta wave indicate? WPW. Good. And that it makes a what PR interval? What PR interval? It makes, is it short or long? It's short. Good. Okay. So Wolf Parkinson's White, they can lead to SVT and AFib. Right? So they can lead to some serious things. So delta waves with WPW, we always try to fix them. Now the PR interval, basically, we didn't talk about that, but it's from the distance. So basically it should be between 120 and 200 milliseconds. Okay. So we're going to put beginning right here, and we're going to put 120 to 200 milliseconds. Bell bottom QRS, that's funny. And then the PR segment, okay, that's beginning of the P to the beginning of the R, that's easy. And then ST segment, we look for two things. In our ST, we look for either elevation or depression. Good. Hello, Chime? I hope I'm saying your name right. And then we've got ST depression. Yeah, ST depression. So there's lots of things that can cause ST depression, okay? So ST depression, hypokalemia actually can cause it. Cardiac ischemia can cause it. And medications, there's one big one that starts with a D, can also cause it. Starts with a D. Yes, it causes a scooping, right? Good job, you guys, digoxin. And now the QT interval, it's important because a long QT can lead to what bad thing? I'm just over here yelling out answers. I can't type that fast. Oh, Eileen, we love you. Okay, and then good, it was torsades. Distance between, okay, so this is the R to R. We use it to see if a rhythm is what or what. What or what. We're looking to see if it's regular or irregular. Good job. And we're going to use this tomorrow a lot when we're looking at our rhythms. So this is the end of tonight's session. We are done at 6:16. So excited. But I did want to share with you a prize we are going to give away. I'm going to give it away tomorrow. Okay, but I want to show you. So this is actually, oh, I'm going to show you. Okay, so first of all, there's going to be two prizes tonight. Well, that we're going to give away tomorrow, that we're going to be entering the giveaway for. So first of all, this is a brand new, never seen badge card by Scope Education. You've seen Matt Holden. I think this is actually backwards for you, but Matt Holden, he's amazing. So he made these cards, and we're going to be giving a couple away tonight. So if you would like to win these, your name is going to go into a drawing. I have a bowl of rewriting your name down, and I'll be announcing the winners tomorrow. So you guys got to come back tomorrow to see who wins. We're going to give away two of these tonight. Okay. So if you want to win this, put Scope. Okay. Just put Scope and put it in the Facebook chat if you can. That's a little bit easier for me to find. So two people are going to win these, and I'll put them in the mail for you. So excited. And then the final prize for tonight is this. This is the EKG workshop kit. You can see Michelle clapping. I love it. Okay, so let me just tell you about this kit. So first of all, we're going to be giving this away tonight too. Okay, the hashtag to win this is hashtag 30-day. Okay, if you want to win this, because this is what we give to people who sign up for our 30-day EKG challenge. It gets in the mail. So obviously I painted the cover. Now you guys know about my artist background. But speaking of that, okay, what comes in this box? Well, you need a little motivation to get your mind right to learn about EKGs. So there is a custom painting that will come on a little easel that you can put on your desk to remind you how awesome you are that you can actually do the EKG thing. We also send you another tool, okay, a tool. This tool is an RCAT window, okay? This is what I was kind of talking about earlier. You can look at rate. You can use this line to look at the ST elevation. It has all sorts of like showing you where the leads are. That comes in this box because we know you're going to need that. We're going to also send you some crayons that are all color coded to the system we use when we show you contiguous leads. We make you color them. So you remember that. And you also get, this is one of the coolest things, Kate, you get a workbook. There's 17 real EKGs in here that you get to practice on, that it's not like the ones from the book, okay? Like they're actual real EKGs that you get to practice on, okay? And you can color them. You can use your RCAT window to measure the ST elevation. It's super exciting. And then a couple other things are in here. I also send you my cheat sheet, which has all my trade secrets, including access. And we also send you this, which is a normal EKG that we use to color code and carve up. And there's also a little descriptor on how to use the badge, like a little instructions. And in this, you also get the badge. So if you want to win this, you're going to put hashtag 30-day. This I will be announcing the winner of tomorrow as well. So all the winners will be announced tomorrow. We are going to start again at 5:30 Pacific Standard. This recording will be available up in the guide section tonight to rewatch. And oh yeah, there is an Amazon link to buy the RCAT. Actually, I think the discount he gives us is for the workbook. I don't know if it works on the RCAT, but they're really pretty cheap on Amazon. If you don't end up getting the 30-day EKG challenge, or if you don't end up winning, then there is a code we'll be talking about tomorrow. But anyway, so I got all your little hashtags I'll be putting in the bowl. We'll be drawing tomorrow at the beginning of our session. And we're going to be giving away some different badges tomorrow night as a prize. That's going to be exciting. And remember for the scholarship that we're giving away on day 3, now that you've met each other tonight, and like Celine, I've been watching you, you're like being so vulnerable and like reaching out and like answering, and everybody, Carrie and everybody, keep doing that. But I want to see this amplified tomorrow. I want to see you like rooting each other on now that you know each other. I want to see you like really helping each other. And that's how I'm going to pick the scholarship winner, who I want to spend in the 30-day EKG challenge with me and Michelle. So let's wrap up tonight with Michelle. Do you have any final parting words of wisdom to share with everybody tonight before we wrap up?
No, I just really like that everybody was playing along and typing in their questions because it really makes it so much more fun when everybody's participating. So that is definitely a lot of fun. And Skelly had a great time too. There is Skelly in my background in my closet.
We might want to explain, Skelly. She uses him as a demo model when she does the EKG placement in the basic EKG class. So,
Yes,
and
yes.
she
Skelly
makes those.
Skelly has a little zebra shirt on because we're always looking for zebras. And I use him to pin on all the EKG leads when we're teaching the basic 12 lead class.
So Eileen just came probably to our group, and but she loves Skelly already. So yeah, it's hard not to love Skelly. So and then there's a baby Yoda back there too. So just to give you some background on that, we all come into this group. Well, not all of us, but coming kind of new, and we want to encourage the people that are the baby Yodas. We want to encourage you to keep coming, keep learning, and to keep participating. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember that tomorrow evening, also the 6:15 session, it's a bonus and it's not recorded, but that's the only thing that's not. So excited. Missy says she loves your office, Michelle. I totally would love to be in that office too. One of these days. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good evening. And thank you guys so much. And thank you, Michelle, as always. And thank you, Ruben, too, our wonderful assistant. Bye, guys.